Chris, this is our driver, Pete, and today we are going to lift the veil of secrecy on some of Hollywood's hottest filming locations.
You're about to go behind the scenes of one of the biggest and busiest movie studios in the world.
But before you head off on your Hollywood adventure, let's bring you up to speed on what's been filming on the Universal lot as of late.
Hey, we've been working on the sequel to Bruce Almighty, a brand new movie called Evan Almighty, starring Steve Carell and Morgan Freeman. In fact, we are going to show you an area where we're getting ready to do some filming for it. It'll be a little bit later on our tour. If you have cameras, like I say, take all the pictures you want during our tour. Now keep in mind, whenever the tram is in motion, you do need to remain seated. Please keep your arms and legs inside at all times. If you drop something overboard, if there's an emergency of any kind, or if the sound or video cuts out, just let us know. Reach overhead and pull this cord that runs right down along the center of the tram ceiling. We'll stop and take care of whatever it is. For their own safety, very small children should be placed toward the center of the rows, away from the side gates, and no smoking. Now let's kick things off with a little bit of Universal history from somebody who's made a lot of Hollywood history. She's an Academy Award winner. She's an Emmy Award winner. She's a very talented actress, the star of movies like Ghost, Sister Act, and The Color Purple. Yeah, I'm talking about Miss Whoopi Goldberg.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. How do I look? Okay, fine. You're saying to Hollywood? Maybe. But if other studios can have a line or a mouse or something, what is wrong with an Oscar-winning Whoopi? Besides, I know all about this place. I shot my first movie here with Steven Spielberg on the Universal backlot, the biggest and busiest fantasy factory in the world. So let's go. Universal got its start in 1912 when visionary Carl Laemmle brought his movie company west and opened Universal Pictures. On March 15, 1915, Mr. Laemmle invited the public, that's you guys, to visit his studio, and the Universal Studio Tour was born. You see, Mr. Laemmle believed that movies should make people laugh, or cry, or sit on the edge of their seats. And for the last century, Universal has been doing just that. I'll be back to check up on you guys a little later. I gotta go get a tanning day because I'm so pale. In the meantime, I'm gonna turn things back over to your guy. Hope you have a great time, everybody. Ready? Let's go.
You know, Universal is a part of NBC Universal. That's a media powerhouse. That includes NBC and Universal, but also the USA Network, CNBC, MSNBC, Telemundo, Bravo, the Sci-Fi Channel, and Universal HD. We've ended up taking audiences just about everywhere. You know, we've gone from ancient Rome to the streets of New York. We've gone from the bottom of the ocean to the surface of the moon. Hey, we traveled from inside the Oval Office to a bar where everyone knows your name. But most of the time, we've been able to do these wonderful things without even leaving our property. That's because the movie industry is based on illusion. That's right, nothing in Hollywood is quite as it seems. And today we're going to be giving you a lot of great examples. So have the cameras, Andy. You know, so much of our illusion takes place on soundstages. Yeah, like this building on your left, Soundstage 25. Now, stage 25 and the neighboring sound stages coming up on your left, 24, 23, and 22, are all used for the television show CSI, starring William Peterson and Mark Helgenberg. These are just ideal places to do the filming because the buildings are virtually soundproof. We have lots of control over things like weather and lighting. By the way, these are closed sets, open only to cast, crew, and invited visitors. However, if you would like to become an invited visitor, next time you visit Universal Studios Hollywood, check out our VIP experience. They'll give you a little bit more information about how you can do just that. Now on your right is our oldest soundstage. This is stage 28. It was built way back in 1925. It was originally built to house the elaborate Paris Opera House set for the Phantom of the Opera starring Lon Chaney. But as you can see, quite a few creepy characters have filmed in there, that's for sure. Yeah, even the Grinch. You know, those Opera House sets from the Phantom of the Opera are still in there. They were permanently built into the walls. Supposedly, you can even occasionally catch a glimpse of the ghost of Lon Chaney walking around in there. Yeah, we got a lot of superstition out here in Hollywood. As a matter of fact, you're not going to find a stage 13 at Universal. Nope. But We were brave enough to film Apollo 13 here. Yeah, as a matter of fact, in stage 27 on your left. Here's the man who directed the movie to tell you about it. Academy Award winner, Ron Howard.
Realism was an essential element for Apollo 13. We thought about filming in Houston, Texas, where the original control room for the Apollo mission still exists. Unfortunately, NASA's engineers didn't have filmmaking in mind when they built Mission Control. We had to build our own mission control inside stage 27. Everything had to be exact, even down to the tiniest detail.
You know, just recently we were filming another movie in stage 27, a brand new one called You, Me, and Dupree, starring Matt Dillon, Kate Hudson, Owen Wilson, and Michael Douglas.
Now it's time to move from the big screen to the small screen.
Aside from making memorable movies, NBC Universal has a long history of producing hit TV shows, many of which filmed right here on the Universal lot.
That's right, many of them filmed in these stages we're passing on your right-hand side. And you can add to that shows like Cheers, Seinfeld, The Cosby Show, Friends, the list goes on and on and on. Now, those television shows work on a very tight schedule. The average show is completed in a week. That's from first rehearsal to final taping or filming. For movies, it's a different story. They can take months, sometimes even years, and involve literally hundreds of people.
Okay, I'm back. So, did I miss anything? Did you guys see anybody famous? Well, if not, it could be because they're all inside those big sound stages or in these bungalows, which are kind of like cute little houses for writers and producers and directors making their movies or working deals with the studio. Which gives me an idea.
Excuse me. Attention, producers and directors, I have a great pitch for you. Fewer movies with giant monkeys, more movies with me. Fewer movies with the giant monkeys, more movies with me.
Their call.
Well, it can be hard getting those movies done. Every year, Universal gets thousands of scripts submitted, maybe about 50 make it to development, and only about a dozen or so get turned into a movie. Oh, here's building 5195 just ahead on your left. It's got a rather familiar-looking silhouette on the wall. Do you recognize that? Yeah, it's Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense. That was his production office. Boy, oh boy, did he make great movies. Classics, things like The Birds, Rear Window, Vertigo, Psycho. One of the things he was especially known for was making cameo appearances in those great movies.
Good evening. My name is Alfred Hitchcock. We all know a little lesson. See the plot.
All right, we are leaving our front lot, but we're not done. Coming up next, a trip through the world-famous Universal Studios Hollywood back lot. The front lot's where we do the indoor shooting, but our back lot is where we do outdoor shooting. This is where we film the big stuff. Yeah, we've got a whole city back here. A fake city. The buildings are facades. They have fronts and sides to them. They don't have any backs or interiors. They're only used for the outdoor shooting. And we do use them over and over again. Hopefully they're not so recognizable from production to production. That's the job of our art directors. Oh, and they're up for the task. Sure. Our art directors have won us a number of Academy Awards throughout the years. On to Brownstone Street. This has been in a lot of different things. Yeah, classic movies like, 1973's The Sting, starring Robert Redford and Coleman. And it just so happens to be where Jim Carrey lived in Bruce Almighty.
Say, that dog. Inside bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good.
Oh, you're done now. B-E-A-U. Now, you may recognize this area up ahead, but, well, then again, you might not. It looks quite a bit different at the moment. From when it was Hill Valley. Yeah, from Back to the Future. Starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. How about that? But our sets are versatile. As I said, a lot of different things have filmed out here. 1962's classic To Kill a Mockingbird filmed here. Sneakers, starring Robert Redford. We had kind of a fiery scene out here for Bruce Almighty. Look at that. Boy, who could forget the way it looked for the 2015 scenes in Back to the Future 2. We actually dug up that central area and filled it up with water. Yeah, we turned it into a pond. Right now, though, it's looking very different, huh? Yeah, well, the courthouse is not even a courthouse. Nope. It's a hotel. This is where the television show Ghost Whisperer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, films on a regular basis. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, we still have the columns to make it look like a courthouse. They're just covered up right now. We even have the triangular roof with the clock. Yeah, we have that in storage. Eventually it'll come back, but right now this is exclusively where the Ghost Whisperer films. In fact, Jennifer Love Hewitt works at the Same As It Never Was antique shop just behind us. Hey, by the way, the guy who directed all those Back to the Future movies, Robert Zemeckis, actually got his start right here at Universal. But, well, quite a few people have over the years, including this rather famous television star who's here to tell you his story.
Hi. I'm Jason Alexander, and I really did get my big break right here at Universal Studios with a guy named George Clooney, on the television series ER, though not the ER you're probably thinking of. Let me try to explain. You see, the original ER was produced by Norman Lear back in 1984, 10 years before Michael Crichton's ER hit the air. I played Harold Stickley, the bad guy hospital administrator, and George played the hospital heartthrob, Ace. Kind of a stretch for George. Anyway, George and I were both young, up-and-coming actors at the time. We used to roam around the lot between takes, waving at the people on the tram tour, hoping someone would recognize us. They didn't. But hey, we didn't let it get to us. We were both thrilled to be on the lot working on our first television show. So do me a favor. If you see some young kid waving to you today on the lot, wave back, even if you don't recognize him. After all, you never know where that guy's going to end up. Hey, how you doing? Well, a lot has changed since those days, and I find now whenever I'm on the lot and I wave to the tram, well, people sure do recognize me now. Hey, everybody!
Oh, well, look at this, folks. We got a tree on the right side of the tram waving famous movie and television star Danny DeVito from Taxi.
Danny DeVito?
Oh, poor Jason Alexander. You know, there are times when we need a little bit more control than we can get outside, so we've actually been known to build part of a city indoors. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what we've done up ahead. Yeah, I gotta tell you, there have been some really weird things going on in here lately. I would highly recommend getting those cameras ready if I were you. Here we go.
Thousands to flee their homes. Police admittedly are powerless to stop the enraged beast. Military units are rushing to the scene. The beast was last sighted near the 200 block of Old Fulton Avenue. We now go to live coverage on the scene with our helicopter reporter, Kelly King.
Kong, a big old mechanical monster. Well, I'll say big, about 30 feet tall. These mechanical monsters, though, can be, well, they can be tiny, like the little comfy dinosaurs from the Lost World. Or how about a giant T-Rex, something even complicated? It took several technicians to operate it. We used to use a lot of mechanical monsters. In fact, the original King Kong was a puppet about 15 inches tall. That was back in the 1930s. Nowadays, though, it's computers. Oh, yeah, our brand new King Kong, just recently on the big screen, was created using CGI, advanced computer-generated imagery. Here's the man who directed the movie to tell you more. Academy Award winner Peter Jackson.
I first saw King Kong when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and it was the moment that I thought I want to make movies. I want to be able to make movies just like King Kong. I just thought a version of this wonderful story told with the technology that we have available to us today would be a really amazing thing.
Now, of course, all the action in that movie took place in New York. Hey, speaking of New York.
New York. My kind of town. It's big and bustling and completely superficial. Easy on the snow there, Frosty. We call this area the New York Street, but it's doubled as more cities, more time periods, more movies, and more commercials, and more music videos than any other spot in the world. You can shoot a scene in any city you need to, and still make it back to your Malibu beach house sometimes with your Pilates workout with the mountain run, or whatever you're into. Good? Alright, let's go. I want to beat the traffic, but don't take the tunnel this time, it's too crowded. Because I want you to cross down the city, head down there. See that? I want you to have the borough restaurant.
Hey, this bridge here on your right was built back in the early 1970s, and over the years it's been seen in episodes of The Bionic Woman, The $6 Million Man, and in a very memorable episode of Quantum Leap starring Scott Bakula. Okay, get those cameras ready, because in just a few moments, we're going to give you an up-close and personal look at a few of our most recognizable big screen icons. The vehicles that'll be coming up on your left are what we call picture cars. Any vehicle on a set seen by the camera. Some of these cars have become as famous as the stars who've driven them. Over the years, picture cars have grown bigger, badder, and faster as movie audiences embrace their need for speed.
Fast and the Furious.
How about that? Now, even those live action scenes had a little bit of computer technology involved in them. CGI is just everywhere in the movies, and it truly has helped us create some scary monsters over the years. more than just creating monsters. Take a look at this. A little bit of Apollo 13. And so many other great scenes. Clickery, computers. Hey, these vehicles on your left-hand side are from the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, the newest movie in our Fast and the Furious series. We have a new attraction that's coming this summer based on those great Fast and the Furious movies. Now, if you got an annual pass today, make sure you have it processed today so you can come back this summer and take part in this great addition to the tour. Opening the same time as the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Now, in just a moment, though, we're going to go from the streets of Tokyo to a jungle island off the coast of Costa Rica.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
That's right. We're going to be seeing some picture vehicles from the Jurassic Park movies. Movies that wouldn't have been possible without the great Steven Spielberg. And you know what? We were talking earlier about Jason Alexander getting a start here at Universal. Well, so did the great Steven Spielberg.
When I was about, 16 years old, and I began hanging out at Universal during my summers. When I went to college nearby, I continued to come on the lot and try to become a director. So Universal sort of is my birthplace. This is the place I consider my first home, and I love it here, and I keep coming back.
I thought dinosaurs were extinct. Out here at Universal, anything's possible. Yeah, even fog on a beautiful, warm, sunny day. Do you see that fog back there? It's not Mother Nature. No way, man. We can't be waiting for things to happen. And besides, we don't need to. Our skilled weather effects technicians can do almost anything to the backlot, we do. As a matter of fact, here's an expert on the weather. Today's show weatherman Al Roker.
Hi everybody, here's today's forecast for the Universal Backlot. It's going to be sunny and dry at 6 Points, Texas. Cool and cloudy in Little Europe. Expect snow and sleet on New York Street, and we've got a high chance of fog and precipitation for Skull Island, Amity Island, and Isla Nublar. That's your forecast for today. Now here's a look at what's going on in your neck of the lot.
Well, that would be old Mexico, and wait a minute. Flash flood warning? I don't think so. We don't get so we can control our storms. We don't need a flash flood. Look at this. We've got sound effects and light for thunder and lightning and the rain. Sprinklers near the top of the trees. What we do is we shoot the water slightly upwards at first to make it look a little bit more realistic as it comes down. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, guys, you can turn that off now. Weather, guys? Oh no, I think they may be stuck on. Maybe Al was right. If I were you, I'd pick up anything on the floor that could get wet. Have your cameras pointed up on the hill too, because oh yeah, it's happening again. All right, here it comes. Flash flood, look out! Wow. Well, that flood was created by dumping thousands of gallons of recycled water from tanks over the top of the hill. Hey, you want to see how it looks in a movie? Check out this scene. Some big fat fire.
You can't run a wolf, kid!
You never believe that.
I'm getting wet.
Now, this section of Old Mexico's been in quite a few television shows, things like The OC, ER, Without a Trace, oh, and Crossing Jordan. Well, we are crossing over the border. We're going from Old Mexico into the Wild West, and who better to tell you about the Wild West than the Duke himself, none other than John Wayne.
Whoa there. Our house, Pilgrim. Okay. Now, you gotta keep these golf carts where you want.
Alright, I'm not really John Wayne, but I did shoot my very first movie here, right here. Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple. Oh, yes, okay.
And while Whoopi was out here, she learned a thing or two about 6 Points, Texas.
Did you know that more movies have been shot on these streets than any other spot in the world? Now, during the silent film era, they could shoot up to 6 movies at the same time, one on each one of these 6 streets. That's why it's called 6 Points, because each street had its own bank, its own sheriff's office, its own saloon, and its own hotel. Now, it turns out that this town ain't big enough for both of us. So get on back onto your tram stagecoach thing and get the heck out of here. Go on.
Hey, you know the Duke has been out here. Sure, over the years, all the great movie cowboys have been in 6 Points, Texas. Getting the idea we can take it just about anywhere without leaving our property? It is so true. As a matter of fact, we are very close to the bottom of the ocean. Sure, it's just ahead on your left. It's this circular building. That's our water tank. It's just painted blue. On the inside, you fill it with water, open up those flaps. There's glass. We can film from the outside. The camera stays nice and dry. It's been used in things like, the movie Dragnet with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd. We've done a lot of Fear Factor stunts out here to show aliens did some filming in there. Now, you know, a few minutes ago, I was talking about King Kong, about how that was created using computers. And, well, computers were very, very much an important part of the making of that movie, as you can see here. Tremendous. But the director of the movie, Peter Jackson, wanted to ground that technology in real environments, so He had his art director, Dan Hanna, and the Weta Workshop create what we call bigatures. Now, those are large-scale miniature environments. You film the actors against a blue screen, digitally mix it together with these bigatures, and there's almost no limit to what we're able to do. We used more than 800 bigatures in the making of the movie, including this one coming up. This is the scene where the SS Venture first reaches Skull Island. Now, we're going to drop right down into the lagoon to give you the same point of view the camera would in the movie. Have your cameras ready. You definitely do not want to miss this. We have beyond Skull Island? Well, you name it, we've got it. It's Universal's prop department, where we store the objects we use to decorate sets. You can see some of them are outside. The vast majority, though, are in this big building on your left. That's our giant property warehouse. Yeah, we've got more than 1 million props, far more than any other studio. And we've been putting props to good use in this area up ahead. It's called The Square of Warriors. Oh, a classic movie film here, 1960. Stanley Kubrick's Spartacus, starring Laurence Olivier and Kirk Douglas. This was ancient Rome. Yeah, 42 years later, The Rock was out here. We turned this into the city of Gomorrah for the Scorpion King. The Square of Warriors even played itself. A movie studio backlot for an episode of NBC's Crossing Jordan. It was used in the Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement, starring Julie Andrews and Anne Hathaway. It was Genovia. We use it over and over again, just like this area coming up on your left. Sure, this could be Paris or London, Rome, Madrid.
Welcome to Utopia. This place can be made to look almost like any country we need just by changing the language on the side and a little set decoration. Buenos días. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca para españoles? Yes. Now, what's the all I have to do around to get some sleep, eh?
Hey, this is Paris for the Pink Panther. Starring Steve Martin, the remake. It was Pamplona, Spain for the opening scene, the running of the bulls in City Slickers with Billy Crystal. George Clooney was out here recently doing some filming for his brand new movie, Steven Soderbergh's The Good German. Johnny Depp, you bet he's been out here working on things like Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, and recently the sequel movies, Pirates 2 and 3, filmed out here at the same time in Little Europe, where we at Universal invented all these great monster movies back in the 1920s and 30s. Monster movies out here. As a matter of fact, our very first Academy Award winner was shot out here. Yeah, the movie was called All Quiet on the Western Front, and it won us our first Academy Award back in 1930. It was our first, but certainly 50, and we're going to take you inside stage 50. It's a working soundstage. It's a very unusual type of working soundstage. It's a subway station set, and, well, it always is. Yeah. That's unusual. Most of our sound stages are completely cleared out as soon as we're done filming and we get ready for the next production. This one, though, always a subway. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we did a scene in here for Beverly Hills Cop 3 starring Eddie Murphy. Yes, we had a shootout in here. Getting ready to do some more filming, too. Yeah, but they haven't told us the title of this production. They've been very hush-hush about it. Sometimes that happens, but you can see we are getting ready on your left. We've got lights, cameras, some cue cards. We even have hot set signs. Those are important. It says hot set, do not touch. Now, what that means is every object is exactly where it needs to be. Nothing is to be moved around. Now, we do a scene in the movie. We do lots of takes, many different angles. And if everything is in the same spot each time, they don't match up when you edit the scenes together. And you get bloopers. Boy, we like to avoid those whenever possible. You can't always avoid them, though. We do have a person on the staff called a continuity director whose job it is to make sure everything's in the same spot. Once in a while they, whoa! Whoa! Yeah, I think we just had a little bit of a tremor. Congratulations, you just took part in one of the most incredible simulations ever created. That's a quite the big one. A recreation of 8.3 on the Richter scale, and a great example of a large-scale mechanical effect. Sure, those are things we use in movies a lot. Family Island coming up next. That's a little vacation resort that had a bit of a problem. Well, all right, it was a huge problem. A 25-foot problem in Steven Spielberg's Academy Award-winning Jaws. Look at that, though. We caught him. There he is. Wait a minute. I think they caught the wrong one. There's another one out there. Oh, look at the size of that fin. Well, he's going after whatever. Oh, a diver in the water? Oh, no. Dude, get out of there. You caught the wrong one. Hey, diver! You got the wrong one! Oh, no, looks like you got the right one now, huh? Oh, boy. Are you all right? Oh, look at that! That's the international signal for no, I'm not all right. He shouldn't have been out there, not so close to that yellow barrel that's out in the water. We've got bait tied to that barrel with a big hook. At least we did. I don't know. That thing's been out there so long. Personally, I think the... Hey, look at that. He just took it. He just took it. Oh, he's got us. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Whoa. Never mind that. I want to know where that shark went. Where'd he go? You just met Bruce. Yeah, Bruce the shark. Oh, he's not so bad. He's just trying to put that fire out, is all. Yeah, he's fine now. Let me tell you something, though. When we were making the movie Jaws, oh, nothing but trouble. Yeah, as a matter of fact, here's Steven Spielberg and a couple of the stars to tell you about it.
That's a much maligned shark. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you hear the radio voice. They were always saying, the shark is not working, repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited. The shark worked well enough. For a while there, it had the biggest hit of all time. So I really owe the shark a lot.
By the way, Steven Spielberg is the guy who named the shark Bruce. Yep. He named him after his lawyer. There they are together. The shark and the lawyer. By the way, Jaws Lagoon also used to be Cabot Cove, Maine on Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury. It was Jessica Fletcher's hometown. Coming up on your right-hand side, Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch from the best little whorehouse in Texas, starring Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. The Chicken Ranch, the practical set. That means it has an interior and an exterior, so they can film on the inside and the outside. Fucking jail. Oh, this neighborhood coming up is completely fake, but it looks fantastic. Have your cameras ready. We're about to take a little trip down Wisteria Lane from ABC's Desperate Housewives. This is where they live. It's Gabrielle's house on your left, the old house.
Welcome, Wisteria Lane.
Got a yellow house on your left coming up. That's Susan's, Terry Hatcher's. Right next door is where Felicity Huffman lives.
I'm not going to drop you. I might strangle you if I went up there in the first place. But don't.
Blue house on your right. Marcia crosses. Yep, Breeze. And at the end of the road, the pink one, that's Nicolette Sheridan's.
You gotta be kidding. She washed her car yesterday. Oh, no, she's not. Well, I haven't seen the girls.
Well, I've come with the other husband.
Sunday nights at 9 on ABC. Now, Wisteria Lane was not always Wisteria Lane. No, we used to call it Colonial Street. And quite a few great things filmed on Colonial Street.
Worst house on campus.
So you see, we use this sets over and over again. Now, some of our sets are a little too unusual to use over and over again, but then again, they're a little too cool to tear down. Got a great example coming as we climb this hill. We're about to take you by some of the sets from a movie that was #1 at the box office for the year 2000. It's a great holiday movie directed by Ron Howard, starring Jim Carrey.
You're the moon one, Mr. Beach.
You're as kindly as a cactus. And it's time and every sea, Mr.
that banana with a greasy back.
Yeah, coming up on your left, look at this. It's Whoville from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Actual sets. Some pretty weird shapes, huh? Yeah, you know how we got all those unusual shapes? With styrofoam. Whoville's almost entirely made of styrofoam. Those Who's had a very unusual way of decorating these houses. All done. Those Who's had a really kooky next-door neighbor. I'm not talking about the Grinch. This guy was even kookier. Yeah, a guy by the name of Norman, as in Bates. Talk about great Hollywood history. Look at this, the Bates Motel up on the hill. It's the one and only Psycho House from Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller.
I'll be darned, the Psycho House.
Right. And the Psycho House is a shell. It has all the walls on the outside, but it does not have an interior. Nope, the indoor scenes were all done on a soundstage where we had more control over things. Well, now coming up, one of the most impressive sets ever created, the spectacular crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. We're going to take you right into the heart of this colossal set, stopping our tram for a few moments to allow you to get some amazing pictures. So hang on tight and have those cameras ready. Hides out in the film, and yeah, that is an actual plane which was destroyed specifically for this incredible scene.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
Like I said, this War of the Worlds set's one of the largest ever created, but despite the use of these life-size realistic sets, the film also used more than 500 effect shots. Yeah, that's more than Mr. Spielberg has ever used before, but obviously, as you can see, audiences certainly got a bang for their buck.
Man, did you see that with the plane and the crash in the town and the seats? Oh my goodness, that's why I did not buy more back to face it. So like that, you get that around and stuff that was always on the scenes. Oh, where is it? The Universal backlight can double as basically any city or place in the world, but I'm sorry, what did you say? Yeah, you in the third car. What about the middle of the ocean? Okay, Miss Uppity Smarty Pants, I say no problem. Ta-da! Oh no, stop. Okay, stop that music. I don't like that. No, stop. It's not funny anymore. I'm not Shark Bait. Big star, Oscar person. Lenny!
Oh yeah, that's where this little scene with Whoopi Goldberg filmed, Falls Lake. It's one of the world's largest freestanding backdrops, and the whole place in front can be filled with water, which is how most of these scenes were done. Look at that, that's Oh Brother Where Art Thou with Jim Carrey. Or rather, that's Oh Brother Where Art Thou with George Clooney. Before that was Bruce Almighty. I think the heat's getting to me. But you know what? Speaking of Bruce Almighty, the sequel is being done out here right now. It's called Evan Almighty, starring Steve Carell and Morgan Freeman. And that is a little bit of Noah's Ark. How about that? just a little section of it. It's on what we call a gimbal, and that'll rock it back and forth and up and down, side to side, to make it look like it's floating out on the ocean. What we'll do then is we'll replace that blue background with something else, maybe an ocean scene, digitally removing it. More computers! In fact, computers are how we resurrected a great old movie monster, the Mummy.
Hi, I'm Stephen Summers, the writer-director of The Mummy. When I began this project, I knew it was going to be a challenging shoot. The biggest challenge was to recreate the mysterious world of ancient Egypt and a very threatening monster that could frighten a modern-day audience. A real-live, three-dimensional, walking, talking corpse, not just some guy wrapped in bandages. Something that could only be done with special effects. Luckily, I had my buddies up at George Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic on my side. For The Mummy, ILM used a combination of live-action footage with actor Arnold Vosloo and computer-generated imagery in a way that had never before been seen on film. And since our mummy is rotted and full of holes, ILM's artists had to create the entire mummy, inside and out, including digital bones, dangling bits of skin, muscles, kidneys, intestines, and you get the picture. So is the mummy dead? Quote in the film, death is the beginning. You'll just have to wait and see.
Oh yeah, as you can see, just about anything is possible. Sure, whatever they write in a script, we at Universal are up to the task. With computers, with our sound stages, mechanical monsters, our backlot, facades, practical sense shells, you put all that together and just about anything is possible.
Would you look at this? Let me buy yourself a 3-picture deal. A 3-picture deal. I just love a happy ending. And that's just what this is. Well, you know what I mean. Think about it. Con Lemley had a dream to make audiences laugh or cry or sit on the edge of their seats. And you know what? We haven't let him down. In fact, Mr. Lemley's city of entertainment here has grown beyond his wildest dreams, and that, my friends, is a happy ending right out of the movies.
Hollywood. By the way, you can see out there our neighbors and Warner Brothers, and right next door is NBC4. That's our local NBC affiliate. Well, it certainly has been fun having you out on the backlot today, folks. On behalf of myself, Chris, our driver Pete, and everybody here at NBC Universal, we hope you enjoyed your exclusive behind-the-scenes Hollywood access.
Congratulations! I see you survived your Hollywood adventure.
And you guys face giant apes, killer sharks, hungry dinosaurs, earthquakes, floods, fires. It's time to take a bow.
So come join Billy and me on the red carpet
for an Access Hollywood premiere party.
Thanks so much for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your day at Universal Studios Hollywood.
We'll see you in the movies.
Yeah, I'll be around too. If you guys have any questions, by all means, feel free to ask. But as we say out here in Tinseltown, that's a wrap.